Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we've got some new reveals, technically from yesterday. We've got a new TEARLAMENT card, as well as a new Train and, what's the other one? DRAGONMAID card. So technically, DRAGONMAID being a new archetype announced as one of those 5 archetypes getting support in that selection pack in the OCG. We'll take a look at those there, because those are the only 2 cards we have revealed so far. But yeah, let's start off with the new TEARLAMENT card. This card is just a one-off for Photon Hypernova. We already saw the crazy Kshatriy Law second wave that had a new TEARLAMENT card, so they kind of already got support there. But yeah, so looking at us here, let's jump in. This is Tierlament's Pearlrasia. Okay, it's a field spell. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. Fusion monsters and TEARLAMENT monsters you control gain 500 attack. Okay, same as the other, field spell. If an Aqua TEARLAMENT's monster is sent to your graveyard by card effect, you can send 1 level 4 or lower Aqua monster from your deck to the graveyard. But if it is not a TEARLAMENT's monster, you cannot activate cards or the effects of cards with that name for the rest of this turn. That's pretty poop. I mean, all right, listen, you could still send a tier monster. So like that's like the silver lining here, that this just says if a tier is sent, send another tier. So it's still not even a terrible card. It's kind of like a foolish burial that like happens every turn, but also still needs you to trigger it. But that's even pretty good on the opponent's turn. You can just get something, a TEARLAMENT sent to grave. You can send and trigger another one for free, which is actually pretty good, like guaranteeing mills, guaranteeing hitting names you haven't hit yet. I think this card's actually not terrible. If only we didn't already have like an insane field spell in the archetype. That's going to be the question. Is this card worth, because you almost always want Perlino, because even as far as adding to your interruption, if you send a tier on your opponent's turn and resolve it, you're going to get a pop. This one gives you an extra extension by sending another one, but sometimes that pop is just even more utility than the extension. So kind of depends. I just think the other field spell does more on its own, and I think people will lean to it that way. But if we never had it, this card could have been something in the deck, I think. But yeah, I think it's just a little bit outclassed. Now we move on to some other news. This is the Selection 5 news. We get Trains are already confirmed as one of the 5 archetypes along with Sky Strikers, but then we now get DRAGONMAIDs confirmed here, which is funny. Also, Alt Arts. This is a beautiful new artwork for Flying Pegasus Railroad Stampede. He looks awesome. Oh man, he looks awesome. Then from here, a bunch of Train reprints. You know, nothing too crazy. I mean, there's some nice ones. Revolving Switchyard, Urgent Schedule, all that stuff. Oh, here's the artwork actually coming up. Very, very cool. That looks so cool. Way cooler than the first one for sure. And then new House DRAGONMAID artwork as well, also coming through. Look at that. Very, very cool. Chamber DRAGONMAID and House DRAGONMAID chilling out together. And then we get to the new card. So the first one is this trap card. This card is called Switch Point. Does not share a name with any like archetype, but Trains isn't really a deck that has like Train in the name. It's just the Earth Machine deck. So here we go. This is a normal trap. If your opponent controls 3 or more monsters, choose one of them and make your opponent send either it or all other monsters they control to the graveyard. This card's pretty ass. I mean, like, it requires your opponent to have 3. We already have stuff like Needle Sealing, or if there's just 4 or more monsters on the field, period, it just wipes them all. So I don't know why you would actually play this one over that, to be honest. I don't know. This card just seems super mid to me. There's just like way better normal trap removal cards than this, but like also this one's not searchable. If this one was searchable, you're like, okay, well it's at least you have extra easy access to it, but it's not. So it's just kind of like super, super mid to me. And the other DRAGONMAID one, which also does not appear to have DRAGONMAID in the name, is Sweet Room Maid. This is a quick play spell. You can only activate it once per turn. If a card or cards is sent from the hand or deck to the graveyard, target one card in either graveyard, shuffle it into the deck. That's actually not a terrible effect. It's kind of like just a generic like Tierlament kind of hate card, right? If your opponent mills, this card can chain in the new chain to like get just shuffle one of the tier names back into the deck or something. which is pretty cool. Also, this oh, never mind. It isn't a when. It's an if. So it does start in a new chain. I don't know. This one's weird. It's a quick play that triggers, which you don't see a lot of the time. A lot of quick plays just end up being ignition effects. But this one may generically be more applicable. But again, kind of the same thing as the switch point up there. Is this card good enough on its own, especially considering that at this point it does not appear that it's going to have a name that is searchable by its own archetype. So if it's like not easily searchable for like matchups and certain things, certain interactions, like is this card good enough for you to just throw in your deck and just like hope you hard draw it? It has DRAGONMAID in the artwork, but not in name. So there's no extra easy access to this. So I don't know. It's a little bit weird. I do still think it's like an okay generic card, especially with how Yu-Gi-Oh works nowadays, with so many cards being, swap send Ronin, right? We'll see, and even with Sprite Sprint, that'll get even more of like a thing for Sprite that this card would apply against them. And obviously against Tier, sending stuff not only on their turn but on yours, and this being a quick play, being able to just immediately chain and handle that is pretty good. So we'll see if this card actually comes up for people, but I don't know, it's weird. It just needed to be searchable in my opinion. So kind of weird. It's a really weird start, and we still have 8 more cards to go, which will be 1 more DRAGONMAID card, 1 more Train card, 2 more Sky Striker cards, and then we have like 2 other archetypes that'll get 2 cards of their own that we don't even know what they are yet. So we'll obviously see when that comes through. But yeah, that's pretty much all we have for the news here, guys. Let me know your thoughts on everything here. This is kind of discouraging for me, to be honest. I was thinking to myself like, oh, if they're only going to give 2 cards of support to these archetypes, they'll probably be like somewhat decent. Because like it's only 2 cards, and if they're all bad, like who would want to buy this? And I guess the argument would be alt arts and like reprints for like an entire archetype could be a reason. I don't know. I'm still going to hold out hope that like we could get, maybe if these cards are mid, maybe the other cards for the archetypes will actually be good. I don't know. But we'll see. But yeah, that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, let me know your thoughts down below. What do you want to see for your Striker, other Train, and other DRAGONMAID cards, as well as what the other 2 archetypes you really hope are, as well as how do you feel about these 2 cards, as well as the new Tierlament card. For me, unfortunately, a couple misses here, but I don't want to only bring you news on hype stuff. I still want to bring you news, even if it is a little bit underwhelming. So yeah, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. I love you. Peace.